This is from the Petty Corner. I'm Petty Diana, and I am back with the expert Chris. We are doing a reality series recap on Road to the Title Season 3, but I missed last week because my dad does this 9/11 event, so we were over there with him for the Major Brent Taylor Foundation. It's something that we do every year, so that's why recap 7 wasn't done, so we are doing 7 and 8 today. First of all, the first match was a heavyweight match. It was between Devin Helm and Bryce Jones. These two were the first guys to ever have like any kind of beef in the house. They showed it in episode 1, and Devin took his pants off. And I don't know if they do it like a day early or a week early that they know that they're fighting against each other, but I think that's a little messy that they put that they could possibly know that they're fighting each other the whole entire time, because then it just creates all this tension. But I like messy because it creates the hype, and then it just makes it so much better, because once they get to the stage they get to like relieve everything and the settle all the pettiness.
He didn't even need to take his pants down. That was a little bit
weird. Coming from a teenager. Okay, anyway, we get to the match. They finally get there. Devin is a returning striker. He was on the qualifiers before Power Slap 1, and we didn't get to see what he can do. His chin unfortunately didn't hold up. Bryce went on 1, and it ended in a TKO.
I think it's good he got knocked out. That wasn't a TKO, though. He was out.
Yeah. Well, he got, yeah, that was bad. But I mean, I hope we do see Devin back, because he is a character. He really wants to be here, and it shows. The next matchup is the middleweight mustache matchup. The loser had to shave their mustache. Hunter got to strike first. He wobbled Daniel, and then Daniel slapped Hunter, and he wobbled him bad. Like, he put his on, like, he had to take a knee. And then Hunter in round 2 got to strike again. He slapped Daniel, and Daniel went down, took a knee. He got up on like 7 or 8, and the ref said he was good. And then he was supposed to be walking back to his corner, and he walked to the center podium, and then he walked back to his, like, they had to show him like, oh, go back to your corner, and they pointed that direction. But then the commission or the doctors, they came in and they just stopped it, which I think it was a great call. I don't know if he could have taken another hit. He was very not there, still pretty out of it from the hit. So Hunter, he's going to be one to watch out for in the middleweight division. All right, the next matchup it was a light heavyweight. It was Edward Salazar versus Brandon Rhodes. Brandon got the strike first, and Edward immediately flinched, and which caused Brandon to not place in the right spot, and he ended up shattering his orbital bone like immediately. So they called it off. Brandon was at light heavyweight, but he is now in the middleweight division. He is in the ranking there. We did see him at Power Slap 8, but I believe he did get a disqualification against Brandon Bordeaux. But I'm excited to see what he does next.
Yeah, it was like he almost had a roll with the slap, and then he got clubbed right around here, and it shattered his orbital.
Okay, and then what do you think about Brandon moving down to middleweight?
I think it benefits him because he was a little bit small for 205.
I agree with you, because when he weighed in, he could only weigh in, like, he could only get his weight up to 199. So I think middleweight will suit him better. And then for the fourth fight, this was the first episode that had 4 fights on there. We had Cody Young and Bryce Hurd Smith. This one was sloppy. They both clubbed each other, and then they stopped the fight because when Bryce clubbed Cody, he knocked him out. So they called that one off, and Bryce got disqualified, so Cody wins. Then we get to episode 8. Dana gave them a party bus to send them to the Las Vegas Strip, and they were living it up.
They were smacking each other's bus. They were turking on the poles and stuff in the bus and everything.
And then they get back to the house, and my guy Brandon Rhodes said he was just popping off to everyone. Pono started coming down, and then all of a sudden they bring a bus full of veterans, and the veterans walk in. They're like, "What the heck is going on?" Because the second they walk in, they see Brandon like going off the rails. And then I don't even know how this started, but Brandon Kerr and Kiali start getting into it and they start talking shit to each other. And then Brandon goes
Let me
to
analyze
slap
the fight. Let me
Kiali.
analyze the fight.
Okay, go ahead.
They were talking, and there was a guy like right here, and then Joshua was over here. He slapped him,
Who's
and then he
Joshua?
was backing up. Joshua, the Canadian.
It was between Kiali and
No, Joshua, the Canadian, was to the right.
Okay.
He was like sitting there, right? He slaps him. He backs up. The guys get out of the way. Joshua jumps he's like, and then the other guys come in, and then he punches him, goes for a takedown, and then he gets like almost in his guard, and then he throws up a triangle, and then he picks him up and he slams him on his head. As soon as he stands up, he grabs the back of his head, and then it's over at that point.
And there is tension brewing between Kiali and Brandon Kerr there. But I am so excited because they brought in Waylon Frost, they brought in Alan Klingbeil, Kiali, and Darius the Destroyer. If you know Darius, you know he and Wolverine had like the most iconic slap fighting rivalry, and they were the coaches for the first road to the title. And enough is said there.
He has so much experience. I don't know why he's on road to the title. I'm pretty sure he's like 17-1 or something.
Well, he hasn't fought in a while or like had any matches in a while. But yeah, I'm excited to see him back. And hopefully we'll see him on the Abu Dhabi card. I don't know.
Abu Dhabi card.
Dana, make it happen, Captain. Okay, so then they get this whole episode is just is like part of the lightweight tournaments. They had, half the house was lightweights. This one was Dakota McGregor versus Riley Montoya. The Canadians have been freaking crushing it this season. Riley got to go first. He slapped Dakota and the spit came out of his mouth.
Yeah, it wasn't even like when he got slapped. It was like turned his head and then it came out. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy how you saw how high quality it was. Like you could see every little
detail.
Pixel of the spit. I was like, yo.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then we got a good slap from Dakota, but Riley ate that one. And then round 2, Dakota ate the slap from Riley. And then Dakota puts Riley out cold.
He flattened him.
That was freaking wild. Then we have lightweight Anthony DeFrank and Josh B, another Canadian.
I was so excited for this matchup too.
Yeah.
DeFrank's face was red after one slap, like insanely red, and he got dropped like every time he got slapped.
Yeah. Which was crazy. But he did improve his technique because the first time he had his chin tucked all the way out. So he did work on that from the first round to this round now. And he was tucking it. And I did talk to Anthony before and he was telling me that, he tucked it so much that the refs kept pushing his chin up. And we did see Mark do that with him one time. Very briefly, his chin was tucked like all the way. And Mark kind of like put it up because it was tucked too far down. But Anthony slapped Josh and it didn't do anything to him, which we know Anthony has power because of the knockout that he did to Gianni.
Yeah, Joshua has the chin. He ate all those slaps.
Yeah, which was wild. And then Josh slapped him. Like he said, Anthony's face was bright red, dropped him. Second round comes around. Josh ate that slap again. Anthony goes to get slapped. He takes a step back and then he takes a knee. His face was extremely red. And then Josh got the TKO in the last round. I hope the next round is Josh versus Dakota or if they're on the I don't know how all this works out, but I hope that they have to face each other because that would be really exciting.
I think that would be an amazing fight.
Yeah, that's a great matchup. Then we have lightweight Isaac Gunther versus William Shockey. It ended in disqualification because Isaac, he comes from a boxing background and he followed through too much. So unfortunately with his slap, it was a step. It knocked William out. I would honestly love to see them run it back because I want to see William slap him and to see what they can really do. Because William, he has Poland's disease and, doesn't have a pectoral muscle on one side. So he can only use one side of his body. So I want to see that matchup again.
Yeah, I was excited for that one, but he stepped and it wasn't even like it was a massive step. It was like a pivot. And I thought you could do that, but I guess you can't.
No, that was a little too much. And then at the end of the episode, they gave us a preview what's to come next week. We see more drama between Keali and Brandon. And then we got the rookies versus the veterans. I am so stoked. And let's see.
By the way, when they fought again for the second time, there was punches this time, and there was another takedown attempt.
So y'all better be tuning in on Wednesday. So looking forward to this Wednesday. We have Darius the Destroyer versus Cody Hrashnik. And then we have Ronald Stanton versus Brandon Rhodes.
That's going to be a good fight.
Yes. And then Vince Tracy versus Radulavi. This one is going to be such a good fight too. Because Vince, the mercenary, he's got insane power. He's got a chin. Radulavi is a very, very animated person. And his performance last time was really fun to watch. So that's it for season 3, episode 7 and 8 recap. Maybe next week I'll bring another striker on here. Like I said, I just was very limited on time these last few weeks. But yeah, see you next Tuesday and stay petty.
I guess I'm not good enough, huh?
I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. Should I bring the expert Chris back or should I bring a striker?
Probably striker. They're probably better at it than me. But if there's anybody who wants to eat a slap by me, let me know. I'm free. I'm open to slapping people.
All right, guys. We will see you later.